Welcome back to Kiesel News, everybody. To start today off, I wanted to talk more about that series that I mentioned a couple episodes of Kiesel News ago called Secret Level that's coming out. That's basically an anthology animated series based on several video games. So basically, it'll be telling stories based on the game's worlds. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like it's machinima like I originally thought, where the series are set inside of the games, which that was one of the things that I was excited about. But it seems like, no, the series is just animated, but it's of course using the characters and storylines from the games. I will say that the selection of games that they chose for the first season here is pretty interesting. We have Ghost of Tsushima, Sifu, God of War, among several other PlayStation titles. But aside from PlayStation, there's also Warhammer 40k, Pac-Man. That's actually interesting, the fact that they got Pac-Man, because Pac-Man's like a whole franchise in and of itself. Armored Core as well. D&D too. That's interesting, because that's another whole franchise. New World at Eternum, I didn't know that game was that big. I've never heard of Exodus or Honor of Kings or Crossfire, but those games as well. And there's also Concord, that game that was announced during the PlayStation State of Play, I believe. But yeah, overall, a pretty decent lineup of games, especially for the show's first season. And although I'm disappointed in the fact that it's not machinimated, I do have to say that Kratos and Mega Man, that's another game series with Mega Man involved. Yeah, Kratos and Mega Man look very well animated, so I'm excited to see how some of the other characters look. I'm curious for how Pac-Man's going to look, especially. Keanu Reeves is also apparently starring in the Armored Core episode, so I mean, I guess he's doing this instead of John Wick, so the show must be pretty fucking good. John Williams will be getting a documentary called Music by John Williams on November 1st. It's going to release on Disney+, but it's also going to have a limited theatrical release as well, which is very fitting because basically everything that John Williams has composed belonged in theaters, so you know what, you might as well release his documentary in theaters as well. It's about time you get something, you know? He's definitely one of the most legendary composers of all time, and you don't see many documentaries on composers, so if they were going to choose one, John Williams was definitely a good choice. The BoJack Horseman creator is working on a new adult animated comedy series, and it's going to follow a family and their evolution over time with their history and everything. And I actually think that this has the potential to be really fucking good, because not only because BoJack Horseman is so good, but also because this just honestly has the potential to be Family Guy or Simpsons, but better. Not to say I don't like Family Guy or Simpsons, but this, like BoJack Horseman, will likely be more serialized. So, like a fucking serialized Family Guy that has peak humor, dude, that's fucking awesome. So we have some unfortunate news, being that Animal Crossing Pocket Camp is going to be shutting down as of November 28th, 2024. You'll still be able to play the game. There'll be a version that you can play, but the existing version is going down, and that'll result in all of the online features disappearing. To be honest, I'm not super crushed by this news, since Animal Crossing Pocket Camp never really appealed to me. I just don't think it has the same appeal as a mainline game. Although I do think it's interesting that the game is finally being shut down after all these years. Like, it came out fucking 2017. But the good news, Animal Crossing fans, is that although this version of Pocket Camp is technically going down, there is a new version currently being worked on that is going to be unveiled in October of this year. Now, I think this is very, very interesting because it's going to be a paid game that won't have any in-app purchases. So is it really fucking Animal Crossing Pocket Camp at that point? It's almost like they're just making an entirely new game. And that is so, so exciting to me. The fact that we're actually going to be getting some new Animal Crossing content after all this time. And to be honest, going mobile might be the way to do it, because it's easier to add more updates without having to like drip feed like you did on the Switch, where everyone just expected like big updates. And really, you should be giving big updates, especially for what New Horizons required. But if they just do a mobile game for now, I think the expectations will be lower, so they can focus more of their efforts on the next mainline game, while still giving us a spin-off to tide us over, much like Happy Home Designer or Pocket Camp were for the large gap between New Leaf and New Horizons. But overall, I'm very excited for this new version, but I can't say I'll miss Pocket Camp all that much. YouTube is unveiling a new feature that will let YouTube Premium users skip sponsored segments in videos. Now, I've seen people very happy about this change, but for me, I actually don't think it's that good of a change. I mean, I never find skipping past a sponsored segment that difficult, especially with the timestamps on everything that YouTube videos have. I mean, now a lot of YouTubers just put the timestamp of their sponsor, and you can just skip past it anyways. I mean, it's not like I'm opposed to this, though. It's definitely a good way to up the value of YouTube Premium. One concern I have with it, though, not that I'm a shill for big corporations, is will this make companies hesitant to sponsor YouTube videos now at this point? Because, I mean, what are companies going to do if their sponsorships aren't being seen by a whole bunch of people? Like, is YouTube going to make a deal with the sponsors where they get a chunk of the revenue that comes from the YouTube Premium users who skip the sponsored segments? Like, I doubt YouTube would do something like that. So that means the sponsors are going to potentially be losing out on more customers. So it'll likely affect how much the sponsors are willing to pay the YouTubers. So all in all, I generally do think that this is a good feature for the audience of YouTube. I'm just scared for the ethics of how it's going to actually affect creators in the long run. Next up, Cristiano Ronaldo has broke Mr. Beast's record to become the fastest channel to cross 20 million YouTube subscribers, like in the shortest amount of time, being less than 24 hours. That's fucking insane to me, man. Like, I know that everyone likes Cristiano Ronaldo, but like, he's not a YouTuber. Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, I'm not going to subscribe to a celebrity on YouTube just because I like them. Like, I don't know, man. I mean, I know that Cristiano Ronaldo is kind of popular in the YouTube and streaming space because of his relation with iShow's feed and shit, but I don't know. I just find it weird. Like, who's another celebrity? Let's see. Fucking Jack Black. Even though I like Jack Black as an actor, I'm not really interested in his YouTube content, and he even makes YouTube content. Cristiano Ronaldo has barely even put anything out yet. I just don't think he deserved to break this record, man. I don't. And I mean, he's already the fucking most followed person on Instagram, is he not? I don't think he needs YouTube to follow suit. James Spader will be coming back as Ultron for the Vision series, and I'm super glad because the Vision series was definitely not something that I was super excited for, especially one focused on White Vision, not even the Vision that we had come to know and love since technically the first Iron Man with Jarvis. But now that Ultron's involved, it definitely gets me a little more excited. But it's also a bit of a double-edged sword. On one hand, I'm glad that Ultron's returning because it means that Marvel is actually utilizing villains more than once. But on the other hand, Ultron being revived also gets rid of some of the stakes that Marvel has had, and they really need to add more stakes, if anything, so that the movies don't seem like the same thing over and over again. But hopefully Ultron has lost his memories or something, much like White Vision, so it's technically at least like a different character. Kind of like how they did Loki, you know, because Loki came back and everything, but the new version of him felt like a different enough character where it still feels like the original Loki was gone. So yeah, hopefully something like that happens with Ultron. Black Myth Wukong has sold 10 million copies in just 3 days, which is equivalent to $600 million worth of revenue. Once again, what the actual fuck, dude? How? How is there this many people playing Black Myth Wukong? I didn't know that people were that excited for this game. I really want to fucking try it out now. Let me know if you guys would actually watch a playthrough of this, because this game must be good as fuck. There's entire game franchises that are relatively popular that haven't even sold this much copies in their entire lifetime, and in 3 days, Black Myth Wukong is just blowing them out of the water. It's fucking insane. Next up, we have news that Frozen 3 and Frozen 4 are being made at the same time, and so that there's essentially a writer's room where half of it is Frozen 3 and half of it is Frozen 4. So really, it just seems like Frozen 3 Part 1 and Frozen 3 Part 2, and the movie was probably just too long to separate it. Now, I'm not going to pretend like I care about this whatsoever, but what I do find interesting about this story is it really reminds me of the whole situation with John Wick 4 and John Wick 5, where they essentially already had John Wick 5 entirely planned before John Wick 4 was even in development. And they were basically planning both at the same time, and now next thing you know, John Wick 5 isn't even in development anymore. So I feel like the same thing could happen with this. Pizza Hut is allowing customers to pay for their pizza with a TikTok video. Wow, I guess they truly know that their pizza is shit, and this is the only way that they can get more customers, huh? I don't know, this might cause dislikes. I don't know if people fucking love Pizza Hut, but I think Pizza Hut is overrated as fuck, so they're clearly just doing this because they're desperate. To end today off, we have absolutely crucial news, guys. Dr. Doofenshmirtz is coming to Disneyland, California. Oh my god. Okay, I have to admit, no offense to the person who is in the Dr. Doofenshmirtz outfit, but this just looks creepy as fuck, man. Holy shit, I just had to mention this when I saw this. Absolutely hilarious.